All right. So we're in Elysium now. I'm gonna go over my strategy for Elysium. Usually there will be a dataless hammer here as an option. I'm glad there is, because if you did not get one before, you're going to get one here. It just works out that way. Thankfully, I already have one before, and I have another option at it. But if you see the dataless hammer, just because of how game changing they are, always go for it. Always go for it. Like having an extra level with the pomegranate versus having dataless. Are you kidding me? Always go for dataless. That's gonna be the difference of whether you have a good run or not, honestly. Because some of these specials are they change your game, the way you play the game, even more than the aspects, depending on your. And there's a ton of the different perks you can get from the dataless hammer, um, that that change even more on top of each aspect. So it's just you really have to make sure you always go for the dataless hammer. It's non-negotiable. If you see it, you go for it. Butterflies are annoying, and I never knew butterflies could be so deadly until I played this game. All right. Ah, none of these are really what I want. So I'm just going to go for triple shot. Mm, yeah, I guess so. Again, because I had a good plan and strategy in the beginning before I started the run in Elysium, I'm doing fine right now. Um, we're gonna start getting more and more of those Elysium soldiers with the armor on them, and there's some strategies to go about doing getting rid of them. But if you see one on their own, just immediately go for them, because what you hate to have happen is to get them in a crowd. That goes for most people, enemies in the game, but especially for those soldiers because they have such high movement speed. They do a lot of damage, and they all have a projectile of some type. And they have a up close melee that is just they aren't to be messed around with. They are probably the most annoying enemy to face besides satyrs. I hate satyrs with a passion. Um, but they're somewhat fair. Satyrs are just annoying. That's all I have to say about them. It's not fun ever having to go against a room full of satyrs. They're just BS. I'll definitely go more into why I hate satyrs when I get to the next level of hell. But gosh, they are the most annoying thing in this game. Battle Rage. Yes, this is very good and it's epic. I'm just getting good boons. What do you know? It seems like whenever I record things for YouTube, I get good boons. So this is new. I'm usually used to just getting normals back to back and back to forth. But yeah, Battle Rage is amazing because bonus damage after killing a foe. I'll be doing a lot of killing at every room I go through. So if you see that, this is probably one of the best Ares boons you can get. Get that. Nothing really worth there. See, this is another situation where you can't escape the boss. You have to go through a boss right here. So I'll be going for the Ares one. Made it out several times, in fact. So when you see if you don't have immediate cover, when the Minotaur starts charging, just keep on going back and forth because instead of taking cover, you can just exhaust his meter. And when you have speed, again, if you don't have speed, I don't recommend doing it. But if you're like so close to making it to cover, but you aren't quite going to make it, then I usually say go for that. Do what I just did. Also don't be close so you don't get hit like I just did. But right now I'm not really taking him too seriously. I really should though, just to make sure I don't accidentally die here. That would be really stupid. Um, Remember, he's gonna swing twice and then he's gonna jump at you. So a lot of time you saw me miss those jumps. They're pretty predictable. So don't. There's not really a reason to miss them. Besides me just being stupid right there. But you see how I can just charge back and forth and he's just not gonna get me. And I knew he was gonna jump this way. Oh wow. Okay, it's time to end this soon because I've lost a lot of damage on this. Yeah, lost a lot of health on this. So I actually wouldn't mind getting some health pretty soon. After all I took right there. Alright, so I'm going to go for this assuming I'm going to get another Ares boon. Now, why do I think I'm going to get another Ares boon? Well, typically, once the game starts giving you the same boon back again and again, sometimes you only will have you'll go through a run, you only have the option of 3 different gods. I probably am not gonna get Poseidon this run, and I'm just gonna have an empty slot. I'm okay because it's not my main damage. I got the main thing I wanted, which was the Artemis special. Um, but I'm going to assume that I'm gonna get this again, and this makes such a difference all the time if you have it, because the blade risk becomes so much bigger. And also, again, I want the option to go for other options here. But if these come again, I'll probably go for this. So you again just comes down to making sure you have buffers. Don't fill your slots. Don't rush to fill your slots. Unless you have a specific plan for your slots. Make sure you know what you want in there. If you get something you don't want, this would be around the time where you would have to say, throw in the towel and say, okay, I'm gonna get something I don't want. So that's why I'm kind of preparing to probably have to go for those cast or dash effects. But I'm just gonna go for this. This is the last time I'm probably gonna do it. Wow, I took a lot of damage right there in a short amount of time. I feel really stupid. Yeah, don't mess around with those witches. Oh my god, die already. Wow. Um yeah, I really don't like the boon that it gave me, but I'm just dealing with what I have. I really wish had better choices for that Daedalus. Cause I really hate this triple arrow. It's probably it's arguably very useless. I just didn't go for the nonstop attack because I like power shot, and not having that is kind of annoying because power shot gives you a bit more crowd control. Remember, you always get a shop right before you go against the boss. So I knew I'm gonna need to get a shop later, so I'm not too worried. I'm actually hoping to try to get some health or damage boost here. Yes, so I'll be getting this. All right, so I'm too low of health to start, trying to play some games between gods. And I'd rather just go for the gold right here. Always make sure you follow up and get the one you just killed. This is why these guys are just infinitesimally annoying, because you always have to follow up with them and it forces you to move around a lot. I usually try to go for those crystals first, just because they can do a lot of damage out, and also they make well, the pink crystals can. The blue ones are just gonna make them impervious, so you literally have no choice but to go for them first. But just because I'm a bit low. Again, this is like literally the last spot you would want to be messing around with a chaos portal here, so don't. Just don't. I could go for some extra health since I have a ton of cash already, so all right. So for the shielded opponents, um, generally what you want to do is try to get behind them, because you're going to be doing literally nothing. If you just keep on attacking them from the front, it's just gonna be annoying because when you have a ton of them all at once, you aren't going to be able to output much. Um, because you have to target the ones that are attacking you first. The shields are usually the last ones to go for. Um, just because again they're like the rock, and you have to just keep on going for the other ones. Um, come on, there we go. Once you once you anticipate them coming the first, second, third time, and you've done it a couple times, you'll always get the fish, no problem. I don't want to mess around with the Trove Trial right now. So now we're gonna get the boss, because this is the second time I've seen Charon now. So always remember that. Second time you get the boss. Alright, so this is basically a free health boost and a free boon. Okay, your special effects have, well, I'm not going for that. Usually fountain restores all health and gives you bonus damage. I'm gonna go for that. So as you can see, unfortunately, I don't have any dash, cast, or attack boons right now. I'm going to probably, with all the extra cash I have, try to get them in the next level of hell. All right, so here comes the most annoying boss in the entire game, next to Hades. I mean, Hades is fair. I understand why he's strong, but these guys, they can't even fight fair. They need two of them. They suck. Um, and not because they're good at what they do, just because they're annoying at what they do. So basically, my strat is to go for the Minotaur first, because when Theseus goes into a second state, he starts summoning all that annoying stuff from the gods, and it is a pain in the butt to have to deal with both that and the Minotaur at the same time. So always, always kill the Minotaur first. Unless we're talking about with packs, then it's like kind of different. That's a different strategy altogether, though. I've gotten to the point where I actually think it's easier to beat beat them when you have them with packs, because when they have packs, it's a bit more of a predictable pattern. Um, And you see how useful the acorn is doing me right now? Because I still have multiple resistances and I haven't taken any damage yet, which is good. We want to keep it that way. And I think I have one left. Um, but the speed of from Hermes really comes into play right now, because I can just pretty much ignore all the Theseus spear throws, and I can always make sure I can move quick enough to get out of the way for the Minotaur. And he's almost dead now. So you see how I've completely ignored Theseus, because he isn't gonna do anything. He's just really not. You just have to make sure you just keep conscious of him. Now that I killed him, I can go for Theseus, and Theseus is easy money once he's alone. The only thing that makes him a threat again is the gods. When he has the gods on his side, it starts to become really annoying. But you can just keep on dashing, especially with this. I get near misses a lot from Hermes boon, so I can just keep on doing this, and he's never gonna hit me. As long as I time my things right. And really, the only thing stopping me from just melting him right now is that shield. So he's pretty easy to get when he's all on his own. Now, honestly, the worst god for him to get is Ares, and I actually kind of hoping it was going to be Ares. So I don't have the achievement where you use the same greater call that he's currently using from the same god, but it's all right. You see how the Poseidon comes in these like small little sections. They're pretty easy to dodge. Ares though is annoying because his covers the entire screen, and again, it really makes it a lot harder to fight him. So this is good for just beating it. I have no problem. Getting Poseidon is good for completion. Wasn't quite fast enough there. Um, Again, we've done this so far. I haven't used the Death Defiance. Again, this just comes to my experience from doing this enough. Really, this boss fight just comes down to dashing around, knowing how to avoid the things. But again, methodically deciding who you're going to kill first. Always go for the Minotaur first. He's the primary target. There's no reason not to, because he just won't do nearly as much as Theseus is going to do with that god damage. It'll beat you down. So I know this is the hardest boss for a lot of people. Is the boss for me to try to get through. I started beating the game once I got past them. Like without a joke, I legitimately was. There's a point where I found them more hard than Hades. Um, and they're pretty straightforward though. Of course, the nice little shade right here is the only one that's supporting you. He's real MVP. Don't forget. Don't forget where you came from. This guy right here, he's amazing. He makes this entire boss fight worth it. Yeah, so that's my guide to beating Elysium. More straightforward way. My last thing I would say is that now, since you're about to go to the last stage, don't use the acorn anymore. Go to the lucky tooth. Gives you one last chance, just in case. I don't really think I'm gonna need it, but it gives me another chance. So that'll help. And always check the pool just to make sure. The well. Yeah. So that was my section of Elysium that I'm doing. Again, it's not the fastest because this is just trying to beat it the first time. I myself haven't gotten down really the fastest way to do it. I know that book involves a lot more using melee weapons because you get through the game faster with melee weapons. It's just a higher risk, and part of beating it on the first time is to try to get away from that risk. And I really think that the best way to beat it the first time is just use the projectile weapons. They just give you a lot less damage taken, and in some ways a lot safer damage output. You can just do a lot more damage, especially if we're talking about the adamant rail with that special. Depending on what the Daedalus hammer you get, you can do a lot of damage. So anyways, that's my part of Elysium. That's the end of this video for now, and see you in the next one.